Hey, it's Anthony from the Beta Network here, and today we're looking at a little indie release from EA Originals in our latest episode of Should You Play Lost in Random? 2021 has seen a surge of action-adventure-based games, with the co-op-inspired release of It Takes Two, the steampunk-esque journey of Black Skylands, and a whole stack of different takes on the genre. Lost in Random, on the other hand, keeps it simple by focusing on one very specific element that makes most gamers cringe at the sound of its name: RNG. But wait a minute, isn't RNG a part of almost every video game that's ever existed? Ever? Well, yes, cool your cucumber. Although what makes this title's gameplay so fascinating is how it incorporates the element of chance. When it comes to combat, Lost in Random utilizes the traditional third-person action staples. You know the drill: getting close for melee, shoot from afar with a projectile, heal when necessary, etc. But to help separate itself from the pack, the game quite literally throws a die onto the board, allowing the main character, Even, who's looking for her sister, Odd, hilarious I know, the ability to stop time when she collects enough dice crystals from her enemies. Upon rolling her teammate, Dicey, the dice of course, she's able to select from a range of damage, defense, and effect cards that directly impact the flow of battle. Plus, a whole new set of cards are drawn on each throw, and all have assigned values like 3 and 4, which must be rolled by Dicey to use. In fact, Even can't actually attack on her own until she draws a weapon or damage spell from the cards themselves. But since our young protag can stop time with every roll of the die and physically position herself in an advantageous spot for some major butt kicking, it gives the game a turn-based meets action kind of vibe that opens up a whole gamut of battle strategies. It's ultra satisfying to summon a sword from the cards, power it up, move over, and then heavy attack an enemy in one foul smack to the face. Or even set up a time bomb in just the right location for anyone unfortunate enough to be caught in the blast radius. There's a whole heap of cards with exciting effects that are fun to trial out and experiment with too. But at the same time, it can get frustrating how intrinsically tied Lost in Random is with the game's dice system. No default attack option means you'll constantly be farming dice crystals from enemies mid-battle, which can get really annoying at times, especially if you keep rolling low numbers or don't receive the desired card loadout on your throw. As much as I like this stop-start mechanic, it does interrupt the flow of battle a little too much for my tastes. I think a permanent attack or damage ability would have helped keep things moving a bit more. However, it is still quite fun to play at the end of the day. The buyable cards from the game's merchant also factor in a touch of randomness too. After a specific amount of cards are bought, you can choose from 3 different combat categories, which are then randomly assigned to the shopkeeper in a Pokemon booster pack-like fashion. And they offer up some pretty slick combat capabilities as well, like emitting an AoE slowdown time effect, or even letting the player turn Dicey directly into a walking, talking explosive. Don't worry though, no Diceys were harmed in the process. Before we continue, are you able to help us hit 1.5k subs on YouTube? We'd really appreciate the support. Thanks guys. Outside of the combat and maze-like map exploration, the rest of the game is pretty straightforward. And since Lost in Random is a mostly linear-based experience, there isn't too much to discover besides a couple of treasures and a handful of side quests, which help to change things up a bit. Even's journey to find her sister, Odd, also isn't very noteworthy, relying more on its wacky characters and Alice in Wonderland / Nightmare Before Christmas ambiance to drive the plot along. It's enjoyable to watch Even interact with all the dice-themed characters and such, but they're never around for long enough to grow a lasting sense of attachment. However, the characters feature some decent voice work from the game's cast, and the dark, gothic atmosphere and creature designs are really creative. Never thought I'd run into a giant, upside-down version of Jack Skellington that sucked at rhyming, but here we are.
Yes! There's no rule that says a poem can't talk up the poet some. Well done!
Should you play Lost in Random? Well, if you're in the mood for a hybrid type approach to real-time action and strategy, then this 10-hour or so experience might just be for you. It's got all your favorite third-person adventure elements down, alongside a cool card and dice system that brings forth a highly unique spin on the action-adventure genre. It certainly isn't flawless, with a lack of basic attack options and a frequent stop-start approach to the combat that might put some people off, but it still makes for an entertaining time nevertheless. That being said, even though the story is not that compelling, the characters themselves are so full of life and shine even brighter with that stylized Tim Burton aesthetic. So for those with an open mind, I'd be more than happy to say, this game's at least worth a chance. I'll see myself out. Guys, if you enjoyed this vid, give us a thumbs up, and be sure to hit that subscribe button and the bell icon next to it so you won't miss an upload. For more EA originals, check out my review of It Takes Two, or visit thebetanetwork.net to read my full written review on Lost in Random.